his understanding was terribly wrong, to the point that he persecuted true believers. Once he saw his error, well, we must admire the Apostle Paul. He turned around completely. And he started preaching the truth right away. In the congregations, that's in the synagogues. In Acts 13 you can find another example where Paul is teaching in the synagogue. I will just read two verses, Acts 13:42-43. But the Jews, having gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles begged that these words be spoken to them on the next Sabbath. And the synagogue being broken up, many of the Jews and of the devout proselytes followed Paul and Barnabas, who, speaking to them, persuaded them to continue in the grace of Elohim. Verse 44, and in the coming Sabbath, almost all the city was gathered to hear the word of Elohim. Again, this causes jealousy. The Jews are jealous of Paul's success with the Gentiles. The point is, he was teaching in the synagogue. He was teaching. Paul was a great teacher, both in word, in speaking, and in writing. Then we go to Acts 19, verses 8 and 9. Acts 19, 8 and 9.
8 to 9.
Verses 8 and 9.
Having gone into the congregation, he spoke boldly for 3 months, reasoning and persuading concerning the reign of Elohim. But when some were hardened and did not believe, speaking evil of the way before the crowd, he withdrew from them and separated the taught ones, reasoning daily in the school of Tyrannus.
So we see that it is really the habit of Paul here to go into the congregation and to speak, to teach the people who are present. But then we see in verse 9, when some were hardened and did not believe, and they even started speaking evil of the way, evil of Yahshua's way of life, before the crowd, he withdrew from them and separated the taught ones. So when this happens, when some people begin to speak evil about the truth of Yahshua being the Messiah, for instance, well, then we must separate from them. We cannot assemble with them. So Paul separated the disciples, the taught ones. He went out. He went out of the synagogue and, well, found another place to hold congregation, to have holy convocations in the school of Tyrannus. So we cannot assemble with just anyone. We cannot assemble with Jews who reject Yahshua as a Messiah. That should be very obvious. We will also learn something there, but that would not be the truth. Orthodox Jews speak evil of the way. They speak evil of the Messiah. They try to prove from Scripture that he is not the Messiah. So that is not a place for us to be. We must be students, but students of the truth and not of error. Now let's see how teachers and students should behave in a congregation, in the New Testament congregation. New Testament Holy Convocation, 1 Corinthians 14. 1 Corinthians 14. It's a long passage, so I will read it myself. 1 Corinthians 14, starting in verse 18. I thank my Elohim, this is Paul, Apostle Paul, writing. I thank my Elohim that I speak more foreign languages than all of you. We know for a fact that he spoke 3 languages, Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic. Maybe he also spoke Latin because he was a Roman citizen, as we know. But at least 3 languages he spoke. Verse 19, but in a congregation I desire to speak 5 words with my mind, that I may also instruct others, than thousands of words in a foreign language. Then I go to verse 26. Therefore I say to you, my brethren, when you come together, whoever among you has a psalm to sing, has a teaching, has a language, has a revelation, has an interpretation, let all things be for building up. If one speaks in a foreign language, let it be by 2 or 3 at the most, and in turn also let one interpret. And if there is no interpreter, let him be silent in the congregation, and let him speak to himself and to Elohim. So for Paul, it's very important that everyone who is present can understand what is being preached.